Welcome to episode 162 of Vegas Revealed. Superstar brothers, the Wahlbergs, open a second location of their famous burger restaurant on the Strip.
Taylor Swift rocks Allegiant Stadium for 2 nights, some takeaways from the Eras Tour.
We check out Maroon 5 at Park MGM as they kick off their brand new residency. Get ready to enjoy hit after hit after hit at this show.
Disney fans will enjoy a new immersive experience on the Strip that just opened.
And it's official. There will be more weekends with Adele.
Madonna adds another Las Vegas show date, and Kelly Clarkson announces she'll hit the stage in Las Vegas for a number of shows this summer.
Plus, Life is Beautiful celebrates 10 years with a killer lineup. All that and more coming up this week on Vegas Revealed.
Did you know that Las Vegas visitors can walk up to 8 miles per day? And you know what? A lot of that is because people just don't know where they're going. Always know where you are and where you're going with the VegasNearMe app, available now in the Google Play and Apple stores.
If you have a hard time finding your way around resorts, don't worry about that either. You can find maps of the property within the app. Also, find out how much they charge for parking so you can plan ahead. Even book an Uber within the app.
Think of Vegas Near Me as a concierge right in your pocket. You'll find more than 16,000 Las Vegas businesses and activities there. Plus, there's tons of detailed information, and it's accurate and up to date.
Use our Vegas Revealed link that we provide in our show notes and download it to your phone now. Instead of reviews, Vegas Near Me has compiled thousands of Las Vegas-related YouTube channels and podcasts just like Vegas Revealed so that you can hear about and see real-life experiences at the places you're searching. You watch it all and listen inside the app.
If it's fun to do or see, it's on Vegas Near Me.
Let's get to it now and spin that wheel. Welcome to episode 162 of Vegas Revealed. If you follow Sean McAllister and I on social media, you know we have had a busy week in Las Vegas.
Man alive, and I know people have even messaged us. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this next episode because you guys have been all over the place.
I know, and we've got a big project at the end of the week, so we're actually just recording it while it's all fresh on our mind. Maybe we'll even drop it early. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and the project we're working on is with Luke Bryan is a big part of it. So that's going to be it's going to be a start to another insanely busy week. But hey, you know what? It's all good, and we love all the excitement here in Vegas.
That's right. So let's just get right to it. Hey, something new that came into our inbox today is about the Life is Beautiful Festival. It's an arts and music festival in downtown Las Vegas. It started here. I can't believe it, Sean. It's been 10 years now. I remember the first festival.
I know. And I remember going to those first few festivals, and it really is hard to believe it's been a decade of Life is Beautiful. And man, how the festival has grown.
I know, it really has. And this year it's September 22nd through the 24th. But to celebrate that 10-year anniversary, they announced a lineup that I think hits all ages.
I mean, there are a lot of times, admittedly, when they put the lineup out in years past, and I've been like, oh, who is this? Who is that? You know, because I don't always listen to the radio to find out what the kids are listening to.
Right.
But this, I love it. It's got stuff for the young, for our age, for older crowd too. It's a good one.
Yeah, the weekend celebration is going to welcome back several iconic performers, including headliners, The Killers.
Oh, love it.
Vegas loves The Killers. They're from here, so we love it. That's going to be a huge draw. Kendrick Lamar, that's a good one. Odessa. Fans can also catch the 1975. Flume. I see a lot of people excited for the Yeah, Yeah, Yes. I got to look them up because I've never listened to them. Or maybe I have and I don't know it.
That's probably the case.
I know. And a bunch of others, too, are going to be performing. So, I mean, the lineup is really endless, but a couple of the good ones.
I just saw the 1975 over at the theater at Virgin Hotels, and they were great. I'd never seen them perform live. I actually wasn't really familiar with a ton of their music, but they were phenomenal. So they're going to put on one heck of a show here.
I love them because that's the year I was born. So I feel like they have a cool name. But yeah, listen, they have had some single ticket sales that sold out. I think they're doing 3-day ticket sales this week, but all of it's going to go really fast. Just, you can look up The Life is Beautiful and see when they're kind of putting different things out, because sometimes they release things and then they release a little more. So keep your eye on that. Those tickets are going to go fast.
We also just got news that Kelly Clarkson is indeed coming to Las Vegas to do a set of shows. They're not calling it a residency. This is a more limited range of dates. So Kelly Clarkson is doing a limited engagement here in Las Vegas. And of course, she was supposed to do a residency back in 2019, but that got scrapped because of the pandemic. And well, it was announced in 2019.
Right.
Pandemic year happened. Her talk show happened. She's been slammed with that. But now she's coming.
I know, and a lot of people really seem excited about this. She obviously has so many hits. She has a powerful voice. And so, yeah, they're calling it an exclusive engagement, which means, this show will be, curated just for this theater. It'll be at the Backed Theater, which used to be Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood. And it's designed exclusively for that stage. So tickets are on sale right now for performances. They start on July 28th. She starts shows July 28th and 29th. And then she has a bunch of dates throughout August. So that's what's on sale right now. And like you had mentioned, she even talked about it. That's probably what she's going to do. And then no more.
Totally. Yeah. And I think that, on her talk show, she said, this is kind of, after I do these shows, I kind of need to take a break for a minute because I've been so busy for the past chunk of years, personally and professionally. So I'm not saying that she would never come back, but she's not talking about it right now as though Kelly Clarkson is going to be a longtime fixture here, which is totally cool. Do a limited engagement. She'll sell well. Until
she does some shows and feels the vibe of Vegas and the response, and then might be like, I really enjoy this. And so you never know.
Realize how great and convenient it is to do shows here.
True.
It would be great if she did stick around.
Really. Hey, we talked about Madonna performing here. She's actually added a third show in Las Vegas on her celebration tour, but I thought this was interesting. They added a show at a different time. So she's doing October 7th and 8th at T-Mobile Arena. Then she's doing this third date, but this is going to be at the MGM Grand Garden Arena on January 18th. So I guess she'll do the tour, circle back around, and figured there's demand in Las Vegas, so she'll be back.
Interesting. And probably just given the, proximity of surrounding states, I imagine that her tour promoters think they can rely on the drive-in audience. People driving in from out of state. And, of course, people who just like to vacation and live here too.
Yeah, definitely. Tickets for that show on sale now as well.
Sammy Hagar is a guy who's become a familiar face around Las Vegas over the past couple years. Most recently, he was doing shows over at the Strat, but just announced that Sammy Hagar and the Circle are doing a show at the Pearl Concert Theater over at the Palms. That's coming up on July 15th.
Yeah.
Tickets for that one start at $59. They are on sale now. That'll be a good venue for Sammy.
Yeah, you know what? I interviewed Sammy recently on a fundraiser red carpet, and I really like his energy and his vibe, and he is excited just to be here, to perform on stage. He loves, his fellow musicians, and I just think he's good for Las Vegas too.
I feel like he's just excited to be.
Yeah, exactly. He's always in a good mood. I've never seen him in a bad mood.
Such a nice guy too, and chill.
Yeah. What do they call him?
The Red Rocker.
Rocker. I was going to call him the Red Rooster. His fans are probably going to come assault me now on Twitter. But we love Sammy. Hey, this is a big one. Listen, we've talked about this for a while now, that we kind of assumed and probably and most likely Adele would be coming back to the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. We had told you her last weekend was, I guess last week now. And right at her last show, she made a big announcement.
I know it's not enough, so I am coming back. I'll be back for it to make sure that anyone that wants to see the show, that can't see the show, gets to see it. And then I'll be back from the summer, I'll be back in August until the end of fall. I feel so safe in here, and my life is tiny. I don't really leave my house, so that's by choice. But my life used to be massive when I was younger. And it's like the bigger my career's gotten, the more scared and anxious I've become. And I still do that. I just hang out with my dogs.
So that was Adele saying it herself. She is coming back. And what's cool is she's going to be filming some of these performances for like a film version of her Las Vegas show.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Someone said to me, maybe it was even someone in my family, maybe even my mother, like, is that going to be good for ticket sales or hurt? I'm like, well, I don't think she's going to hurt for ticket sales at all, but I think it's smart because it's going to do two things. For some, it's going to make them buy a ticket.
Yes.
And then for others, they'll be able to see it and be a part of it and maybe go in the future if she has more. But I mean, I think it doesn't really matter either way with this.
It doesn't, because you can watch a concert on video, but it does not hold a flame to actually being there in person and having that entertainer in front of you. And, I think for people who it's just not possible for them to get here to Las Vegas and to buy a ticket to go see Adele, this is going to be a great option to bring that performance to them. And like you said, for other people, it will just be like the ignition that was needed to actually go and buy tickets and be like, yep, this is it. I'm going to see this show.
Yeah, I need to see this in person. So I think she realizes that Vegas, these shows are something special, and you could hear it in her voice, and her even saying that, really.
Well, and look at Frank Sinatra and Elvis. They put out albums of their shows in Las Vegas, and that just kept fueling the fire for their performances.
Right. I think it's great. I love when people love performing here and realize what a special place it is. And so I think it's fun to be in a town where you're performing something and doing something special, but then like her last weekends with Adele, it's like Maroon 5 is down the road and Taylor Swift is performing at Allegiant Stadium, and there's, top-notch basketball tournament going on in T-Mobile Arena, and like you feel the energy of everything going on in our city and you kind of want to be a part of it.
You do. I mean, everywhere you look, there is something going on, which is what we absolutely love.
Right.
Let's get to Maroon 5, shall we?
Yes.
I'm excited about this, Dana.
I know. So you went on Friday night. I went on Saturday night. It was the grand opening weekend of their show. And we were even we're like texting each other, like, what did you think? I'm not going to tell you too much. I want to see what you think and this and that. So
I held off all comments with you until you had seen the show.
I know. So, and I think we just both agreed. So we can just talk about how we felt. We thought it was amazing. I loved it. I took my friend who was in town from New York City, and we had a blast. First of all, like you said, hit after hit after hit. You cannot. Like, it's just the best, feeling to just know every song.
It is. There might have been two songs that I didn't know well, but I'd heard them, over the course of many years of Maroon 5's career. And so that just made it so fun. Even the songs I didn't know well, I still knew of. And, I mean, that's what just made it such a fun atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, and they kicked it off with a Vegas kind of opening. And I thought the band was great. And I thought when they did sing their songs or perform their songs, the band and then Adam Levine singing, obviously, I thought that they sounded just like they would sound on the radio. I thought his voice was great. It's been a while since some of those songs
it has
came out. So the fact that he's still killing it.
It sure is. And I felt like he had really good audience interaction too. Moments where, the music is down and Adam's just talking to the crowd, interacting. And you could tell that he was having a good time too.
Yeah, definitely. And, as each song went on, by the end, every piece of clothing from the waist up had shed. So he's shirtless by the end, which for a lot of people really added to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But he's tatted up now, huh?
He is.
He really is. And he had kind of like a bleachish blonde hair. So it's a whole different kind of look that I hadn't seen before. So confetti drop, which was great. Always love a good confetti drop in Vegas. I actually was going to take a picture the other day. I went to bed. I put my covers back and I found a pink piece of confetti in my bed. And I thought, I don't know where this must have been like stuffed down a shirt. I don't know what happened or how it got in there, but I was hysterical.
That's so Vegas.
It is. I love the show. On my way out, I was walking out and there was a man next to me and he was kind of smiling. And so, you know what? I whipped out my phone and I said, hey, what did you think of the show? This is not pre-planned. I didn't know what he was going to say. Let's listen to this. This is my new buddy, Carlos, that was able to give me his perspective on the Maroon 5 show. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a great surprise. I got last minute tickets. I came here from Mexico City and I was really pleased. I had forgotten how many hits he had and how they perform. It was a great venue. It's the best venue in the Las Vegas Dolby Theater, the best sound, and I really enjoyed it.
So has Carlos had a career as a professional interviewee?
I don't know.
He just fit absolutely everything into one answer.
He did, and he even like named the theater. I'm like, this is like a promotional soundbite if I've heard one. But no, he was honest. I literally was walking next to him, knew nothing about him. I don't know. I just felt like, you know what? He looks happy. Like he just kind of looked like a nice guy where I could approach him and say, I have a podcast. I literally said, I have a podcast. Do you mind if I ask you what you thought of the show? And that was it. That was his response in one take. I was like, I don't need to media train Carlos at all.
I love that.
I know.
That's so funny.
He told me too that he had gone to Taylor Swift the night before. He said they were driving through town and just stopped and decided to hang in Vegas and bought tickets to all. He said, I couldn't pass up the fabulous entertainment that I was hearing about. And we figured, you know what? Let's make a weekend of it.
God, I don't know if I've ever just driven through any town and been like, hey, let's drop $3,000 on entertainment.
Well, I know. And he did. He told me those Taylor Swift tickets he got were $700 a piece.
Jeez.
But he thought it was a steal.
Oh, well, hey, I guess it's all in your perspective, right?
Yeah. So Maroon 5, M5LV at Park MGM. They're here for a bunch of dates in April. They will be back at the end of July and August. So I think it's definitely worth seeing. You will enjoy yourself. And before we wrap this up, you said with the show you were at, Adam Levine's family was there and he did a night, and you said his dad was really emotional, right?
He was. There's a point in the show when Adam came out into the audience and he was standing like right at the booth where his whole family was, his wife, his kids, his dad was there. He pointed them out to everybody, and Adam started singing after he talked a little bit, and his dad was just standing there watching his son with tears pouring down his face. And it was just such a cute moment. And of course, there were many headlines out there about Adam's wife, Bahati Prinsloo, being there in the audience as well. But yeah, it was a family night out.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, he has been in the headlines for not all the right reasons lately. And I think we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but you can only imagine something like that. When you are in the public eye, it's a terrible thing that happened. It's none of my business. It's his personal life and his wife. But I can only imagine it brings a lot of emotion to the entire family to have to deal with it. And I wonder even if some of those tears from his dad and the emotion were just like, what a bunch of the last 6 months, what hell the last 6 months have been. And we're here and we're back to, Adam performing and singing and making people happy. And this is what it's about. I don't know.
Yes. And just enjoying the happy moment of being together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a great show. Highly recommend. We are not reviewers, but we give it an A for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. And also a prediction of more dates to come.
Probably. All right. I went to Taylor Swift Friday night. Can you believe it? We talked about this. Did we ever even say on the podcast that I was going the last week? No, I don't think so.
I think we did.
Oh, we did.
But you had just found out that you were going.
Okay. I was so excited. And thank goodness I did. Let me tell you, Sean, I don't even know where to begin, but I'm not going to go through it too much because obviously she has now left Las Vegas and is moving on in her tour. But I do know a lot of people are listening that might go to other shows. But the Vegas part of it, I just want to say, like, everything was, first of all, super smooth at Allegiant Stadium. We thought 40,000 people there, but then 60,000 was the final number.
Right.
I was with John Castellamides from the Review Journal, and he was getting texts from the people that were running the show and AEG and stuff like that. And they said, no, there's 60,000. You looked around, there were no bare seats besides the ones behind the stage that were the obstructed view.
Right.
The production was through the roof. She started at 8:00 on the dot, which I love a good performer that starts on time.
I know, me too.
There was a countdown clock, performed 3 hours, 15 minutes, nonstop.
Jeez.
She would go for an outfit change. Some of them would happen actually on change, like adding I'm saying that wrong. On stage. Sorry. I'm trying to rush through it because there's so much to talk about. But they would happen on stage because she would just like put a jacket on, or she would go down, they would cover her up, and she'd come up in a new outfit. So that was really cool. The cameras everywhere, the stage, just recreating the eras. It was fabulous. Everything was so smooth at Allegiant Stadium. People were in line for merchandise we talked to for 4 hours.
What?
And it had already been in the parking lot for 2 days. So inside, 4 hours, they were waiting for these Taylor Swift sweatshirts and shirts. And
Jeez.
people were eating before the show. I'm talking eating, like standing at tables and eating. They were preparing for a buckle down, I'm not going anywhere in the next 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm telling you, the line for the restroom, it was like insane. It was like they were preparing to walk in and never leave and not miss a minute of this show. I've never seen anything like
That
it.
is dedication.
I went to the restroom once. I was the only one in there. I'm not kidding you. I swear. So anyway, the fans were great. They were singing, so many of her songs have like that kind of shout out moment.
Right.
I call it an anthem type song, but fabulous show. Taylor is worth it. She is if you're thinking about going and you were unsure, you're going to have an absolute blast. She's going to give you over 3 hours of music and performing and costumes and dancers. She's going to speak to you. She's going to sing all your favorite songs, and she's going to end it with her latest album, and it's absolutely fabulous. So there's my takeaway. I'm so glad that she came for 2 nights.
Oh, definitely.
It felt like a celebration here, didn't it? Changing the traffic signs,
Well, and they
brunches
had
that were
changed the color of the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign in honor of Taylor being here.
Mm-hmm.
There were the nail salons that were giving Taylor Swift manicures. There were donut shops that were doing Taylor things.
Yeah.
Even driving around the streets, there were so many cars, you could tell that people had driven in, and there were messages on the back like "Here for Taylor."
Right.
Taylor Vegas 2023, Eras Tour. It was funny seeing all the cars with the writing all over them driving around.
Yeah. It was insane. I mean, literally. And then she broke Ticketmaster. I mean, what a great. And then there was video on TikTok of her dad there filming.
Yes.
And it was just.
That was so cute.
You know what I was just thinking? I was thinking, good for you, Taylor Swift. I mean, I love Taylor Swift music. I'm not like a follow Taylor's every minute super fan.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? But here's what I want to say. That incident that happened with Kanye West when she won that award years and years ago, when he was like, Beyonce's got the best music video, and it was embarrassing, it was uncomfortable. Taylor was a young girl. I'm like, good for you, girl.
Yes.
You just showed everyone. Your dad's there filming, your family's proud of you, you're selling out football stadiums. You broke Ticketmaster. Good for you.
Absolutely. Think what you want about her, but she is a phenomenal entertainer and a phenomenal businesswoman. She knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, it's great to see. So we hope everyone that went to the concert had fun. We know that pretty much everyone in our world went. It was crazy how many... And we interviewed someone on the phone the other day. We're like, oh, how are you? Good to do the phone interview. And he's like, oh, I went to the Taylor Swift this weekend. It was like men of all ages, women of all ages, teenagers, gay, straight, you name it. Everyone.
Humanity is under one roof for Taylor Swift.
All right. Well, something else that we did see Thursday, the Thursday before that, over at the Venetian is Six, the musical. And we talked about this many times. You have seen the musical tons of times, Broadway, twice at the Smith Center. And it was my first time. I really enjoyed it. And you were right, is a perfect fit if you're going to have a Broadway musical for Vegas.
Yes. And the reason why is that Six, the musical, feels more like you're going to a pop concert. It feels more like a concert than it does a Broadway show.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a narrative woven through things, but it's like you're at a concert and they're up there the entire time singing.
And what a talented cast that was.
Oh.
My friend was like, I mean, the voices.
They're a top level cast for sure.
Crazy. Yeah, it was. I love the costumes and the sparkle. And you're right, the music was so catchy. You know, I could totally see. I'm going to admit, I was a little distracted because I was wearing new contacts. And one side I realized is blurry. And so I was watching the show, like at some points, like covering my right eye. And I was frustrated and annoyed, and I felt like it ruined the experience for me. But
so the eye doctor owes you 2 tickets to go see 6 again.
Something. She owes me something.
and a correct prescription.
Yes. But I loved it. And you were saying it wasn't shorter than the Broadway show is. It's actually around the same time. What was it like?
Yeah, 75 minutes.
75 minutes. So.
Which is a great time. There's no intermission to this show. Mm-hmm. It's just full on great music. For the whole 75 minutes, which is a good in and out time, especially here in Vegas.
Yeah. And what a great show for that Palazzo Theater. Sometimes it sits empty, so I'm glad to see them put something in there.
It's a beautiful space.
It is.
And yeah, it is good to have a show back in there. Several weeks, the show is still going to be here, about 4 more weeks.
Okay.
So you can check out Six the Musical over at the Venetian and Palazzo. And
they did win a Tony, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Yep. So it is a Tony-winning show that we have here on the Las Vegas Strip, and good for a night out.
All right. Well, while I was putting on my lavender haze eyeshadow for the Taylor Swift concert, you were over at the Horseshoe for the big kind of like unveiling of the official name, right?
Exactly.
It's not the grand opening, but Bally's on the Strip has now changed names officially to the Horseshoe. It was kind of like a slow rollout.
Right. And they just had their official grand opening. Jack Binion was there. Of course, Binion's Horseshoe, the casino that was down on Fremont Street way back in the day where the World Series of Poker originated. This obviously the Horseshoe on the Strip is a nod to that, and the Jack Binion was there as a representative of his family and the legacy that's now carried on over at the Horseshoe Casino on the Strip. Doyle Brunson, the legendary poker player, was there. So lots of showgirls, of course. So it's a definitely a nod to the vintage roots.
I like that. Of
the Horseshoe, which is also now Horseshoe on the Strip is the new home of the World Series of Poker.
Yeah.
So it's moving back to the Strip after being at the Rio for so many years.
Yeah. And then they have a new steakhouse in there too, right? It's a Binion Steakhouse.
Jack Binion Steakhouse. Yep.
Okay, great. And the ceremony looked great. They had showgirls, the whole 9.
Oh, it was exactly what you would expect a casino grand opening to be.
Good. I love that. Well,
yeah, so it's good to see. And even the carpet has horseshoes all over it.
And they sent us horseshoe chocolate, and it's really good. So I don't know if that comes from their chocolate shop or what. But
at the steakhouse reception, they had lots of those chocolate horseshoes hanging all over the place.
Well, they sent us a bunch, and I was even handing some out to the front desk in my building, and they're like, this is the best chocolate I've ever had. Everyone's raving about the horseshoe chocolate.
Ooh, I've got the box sitting right over here.
Do? Maybe we should taste test.
It's within arm's length. So yes, Bally's is now officially the Horseshoe Las Vegas. They're putting up a big new LED sign out front and everything. So
okay, great. Well, we are going to talk. We kind of last week told you we were going to actually have an interview with the entertainment director over at Resorts World this week. We did do the interview, but because we had so much to talk about this week, we are going to actually run that interview next week. And let me tell you, that is a good interview. We got some juicy stuff. And we got some great perspective and information about what they're doing over there at Resorts World and what the entertainment director really thinks of, as a whole, really about the world of entertainment here in Las Vegas. It was Brent Freed is his name.
Yeah, so you can expect that conversation next week on episode 163 of Vegas Revealed. Shall we do some tips?
Let's do it.
All right, first up in tips this week has our newest celebrity Las Vegas resident involved. Wahlburgers just opened a new location over at the Shops at Mandalay Place, which is kind of the bridged retail area between Luxor and Mandalay Bay. Wahlburgers, a new location there in the space that used to be occupied by Burger Bar, which was a longtime staple here that a lot of Vegas visitors will remember. So it is now a Wahlburgers, as Burger Bar is now just a part of Vegas history.
Yeah, but that's a great spot. And
It
there are
is.
tables in there, just so you know. So, like, it's not like a walk up to the counter type of deal.
No, sit down.
Table,
Yeah.
bar, the whole nine. It's a great spot. And I love that it's kind of near Allegiant Stadium, too, where you could pop in there and then walk over
Totally,
and watch a
pregame.
game.
Yep.
Yeah, pregame. Listen, it was great to see Mark Wahlberg come out and Chef Paul Wahlberg, his brother. There were tons of people there waiting because they kind of had a feeling that Mark would make an appearance. I think
Yeah.
like some of the people in the whole Wahlberg Boston kind of family fan clan, they follow them and they're like, you know what? We're going to go to this grand opening and I have a feeling something's gonna happen.
I haven't seen a scene like this
Yeah.
in a really long time in Las Vegas, where just like random people were stopping and there was a big crowd that was gathered. So there was a little red carpet set up out front.
Right. They knew something was buzzing, right? And as soon as Mark came out, they started screaming.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was great.
Yeah. So that was fun. And they were also screaming for Paul. Paul Wahlberg is just as popular as Mark when it comes to people who love the Wahlberg family, right?
He sure is. There were
And-
people screaming for him.
Yeah, and he's the kind of the master behind, I guess, the burger recipes and the ideas and stuff like that. He's the chef.
The chef of the family. Yeah.
The chef of the family. Well, you and I were there. We talked to Mark Wahlberg, which we love that he's a Vegas resident now. So we had some questions about that. And we also talked to Paul about what we should order and what's new. So let's listen to that.
You living here now, you know it's a sports town, so this is a great location for coming here and then going to see some sports down the road or anything. It's a great location for that.
Oh, fantastic. I remember being here when our Patriots lost to my Raiders. It was quite the experience. And, there's so much to do here in town, and it's just really exciting. I mean, I've only seen, 5 or 6 shows, and I have another 50 that I want to see and things that I want to do.
Why do you think it works?
Well, I think it really works in Vegas because we have locations, especially all over the country. So when people want a taste of home, this is where they come to get a taste of home. So whether you're in Ohio or you're in Michigan or you're in Boston and you want to get a taste of home, you come to Wahlburgers. It's definitely a familiar place for everybody.
Paul, let's talk about anything that we're going to see at this location that we don't see at the other ones.
Yep, so we have our Grand Burger here, which has a little bit of foie gras on and some duck confit, which excites me. So I'm very happy to have that. And then we've got some other things that we're still working on because we want to make a statement here.
And Paul also told us if there was one menu item that we need to try, he said it is the Our Burger. O-U-R, Our Burger. And on this one, it is an all-beef burger, government cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles, and the signature wall sauce.
Yum, that sounds delicious.
It looks really good. You can get it in a single or a double.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and he said always. So like if you're visiting Las Vegas, you don't have a Wahlburgers near you and you're going to check out Wahlburgers for the first and only time on that trip, get the Our Burger,
Yes.
he says. Yeah. I love that. Listen, welcome. We think Mark Wahlberg has just done a fantastic job promoting our city and being a supporter and embracing Las Vegas. And we look forward to, he told us that he has a lot of other projects in the works that he's going to be announcing soon.
Yeah, and just the commitment he's made in moving his family here and opening his businesses here. I know he's talked about even setting up a factory for his municipal lifestyle and clothing line. So that would be absolutely huge. I'm excited to see what Mark Wahlberg ends up doing for the big picture of Las Vegas, because he's going to make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. He's already shot a movie here at different locations on the Strip, which is wonderful.
And that'll be coming out in the next year or so.
And man, he's ripped.
He is.
Whew. That was
I mean, he's a monster.
he's got some
that
muscles. You know, congratulations on his commitment to it. You know, he's up. You'll see him on his
beast.
Instagram. He's there at like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. working out. I was listening to an interview he was doing with someone else, and he was telling him, like, I go to bed at 7 and I get up at 3, but that's okay because it's 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And I thought, good for you, man.
It's definitely commitment.
Yeah, my brother's like that too. He wakes up real early to work out before work. He would just rather not do it after, and then he goes to bed really, really early. And again, my brother is very, very fit, like 0 body fat. And so I'm like, God, that must be the way that you got to do it. And that's not in my plans anytime soon.
Being disciplined.
I got up at 2 a.m. for 15 years and did a morning show. I am not getting up at 2 a.m. to work out. That ship has sailed.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, listen, we know the world loves Disney, right?
Yes.
And we have an incredible thing that has just opened over at the Shops at Crystals at Aria. And we've talked about it before, the immersive Van Gogh. And
Right.
then they had, what did they have after that?
The Nutcracker for the holidays. Yeah.
That's right. And people have been loving that space. It's at the Lighthouse Art Space at Crystals. And they have just opened a Disney immersive.
Whoa.
So this is going to be big for families and adults. Adults love Disney too.
Listen, you go to a Disney park and you will see just as many adults without children who are dressed head to toe in Mickey Mouse as you will children who are dressed head to toe in Mickey Mouse.
I know, and I always thought that was a bit odd, but that's just me. I do like Disney, though. I love the rides, and I've been to Walt Disney World many times, but I don't know if I'm putting
Not like a mouse fanatic, though.
Yeah, I'm not putting ears on and going around myself. Anyway, immersive Disney animation is going to be an incredible attraction. Sean and I were hoping to make it to the opening. We couldn't. Our friend Mike, who does the PR over there, said come anytime. So we will go and we will be there and have a better description. But for now, just to let you know, all the movies that you love are a part of this. If you want to take, the kids, or again, you want to go alone, but you can step into Encanto. You can be at Pride Rock as Rafiki presents Simba. That's part of it too. An Animal Kingdom and Sunrises, just like that, all that from The Lion King. What else do they got in there? Oh, I guess you can take a magic carpet ride with Aladdin and Jasmine. So tons of other celebrations. Frozen, The Little Mermaid, Big Hero 6, many, many more.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to see how they project all these images to make you feel like you're in the middle of these movies that you just absolutely love.
Right.
That is really cool.
Yeah, we look forward to checking that out. But it's going to be here, through the summer, I think, into the fall. So you've got some time. If you're coming into town, definitely put that in your plans. All right. I think that's it. We're waiting for Sean's iPhone 14 to arrive. We have a camera set up in case Sean sees the FedEx guy at the door. And so far, no
all
go.
Technology right now.
That Ring doorbell camera. It's life-changing, right?
It is. I love it.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, remember, download the VegasNearMe app. Use the link that we have down in our show notes. It's a concierge in your pocket. If you have a tough time getting around in Las Vegas, knowing which direction you're facing inside a casino or where the next casino is, how far you're going to need to walk, or if you need an Uber, listen, VegasNearMe takes all of the guesswork out of that. They'll tell you how to get around. They'll tell you what's around, where to go. Download it now using the link down in our show notes.
All right. And as Sean mentioned at the beginning of the show, we'll be working with a charity, big, huge charity event in Las Vegas this weekend. And one of the performers is Luke Bryan. So we'll let you know how that goes for the country fans. And we're going to talk country, too, when we interview the entertainment director of Resorts World.
Yes.
So you'll want to listen to that interview as well. And they have great stuff going on in conjunction with EDC. So that's coming up in May? Yeah.
In May. Yep.
Yeah. So Hotel EDC, we're going to learn all about that. Stuff to do with Kevin Hart, all sorts of stuff.
And that is next week on episode 163. We will chat with you then.